One thing is running through my mind. After I made a survival episode, a whole new perspective opens up. I'm here to congratulate because you survived. And it means a lot. I want to actually talk about just like the story of people surviving because it's actually insanely difficult. Let me remind you, we had freedom. In fact, people are so keen on telling you that you have freedom, that you can do whatever you want. You can even fuck up your life. That's how much people appreciate freedom and just want to encourage freedom to everyone. But it's also obviously dangerous, very risky. The antithesis of freedom is, well, the consequences. Basically, mistakes that lead you into basically running out of speed, time, getting ultimately rejected from society one way or the other. You know, you run out of money, basically. We use money to give survival points. We discussed that as well. This represents survival points. As long as you have money, you will survive. Why do we do this? Oh, you don't know? Everything is becoming so fucking clear to me. Like, last year I was like over-analyzing capitalism, and now it's getting even more clear. So, let's go on a journey to unpack another capitalism upgrade, because in order to upgrade capitalism, all you have to do is upgrade your mind. Upgrades your perception of how capitalism actually works, and it's a new thing. It's a new thing. Again, I'm telling you, it's a new thing because of the invention of the internet. All right, internet allows capitalism to take place. Also, we baby boomed a bunch of children into the world, so now we have to be ready to suck in that wave. We have to survive that wave, that flood of human beings. And it's a very challenging thing. If you're gonna get distracted, you'll miss the fucking point that the only thing that matters right now is to survive. And I'll explain why. And why it's so liberating. Because surviving is quite simple, right? Just live another day. Now, there's different levels of survival. You want to, like, sometimes build your character, not lose your personality, not lose your mind. Basically, not lose your time, precious time to coddle your personality. But, like, surviving is all that matters. And if you did it, doesn't matter how you did it. Everything is on a table, my friend. You just have to survive. You just have to live to the point where things are normal again. Things are under control again, right? You have to just last long enough to that moment where things are under control and not out of whack. The system basically is shattered into a million pieces. It's not working whatsoever. So the only thing that we can make on the system that stopped working is money. It's like a point system. That's the only thing we can do on a system that already just fucking doesn't work whatsoever. That does not mean wars. You don't see many wars because people are not organized. They are free. They have freedom. That means war usually slips away through their fingers, except for Russians for some reason. I don't know. I mean, bro had a little bit too much freedom, that Putin guy. It seems. It's weird, man. Right? They're doing something weird that's not very successful. War is not very successful, and we see it in the very, very end, basically, of potentially people who never found their freedoms, never adjusted to their freedoms, because you wouldn't go to war that you lose. It's just, there's a clearly defensive side, there's a clearly offensive side. The offensive side is fucking losing their shit. I mean, good for you. You had freedom to do that, I guess. Just reminded everyone how pathetic that freedom is, you know? There's the good freedoms, there's the bad freedoms, but in the end of the day, you just have to survive, because when people use these bad freedoms, they can shake up your world. If you are not ready for this, it is very tough to, get your shit together. At the same time, people are struggling to survive because they have to pay rent, which is slavery tax, basically. I mean, it's fucking crazy what's going on. But I promise you guys, capitalism will go away. It's a very fucking nasty system. It works when everything else does not work. Okay? Literally everything else has to stop working, because, again, we made so many human beings, so many children out there looking for a place to live, and it's just the most complicated thing ever, dude. I even got, like, when I was living in the UK, got those, like, homelessness vibes. I was just, like, trying to find I literally felt the vibe of homelessness. Imagine that. I was approached by a homeless woman, and it's so scary, bro. Of, like, people stealing shit from you, like, you feeling uncertainty of, like, where do you go next? What's your shelter? How you interact with humans anymore? And this is why people are spiteful, why we cannot handle homelessness, because it's freedom, you know? You're free to walk away. You also have to survive. Basically, you don't know what's going to happen. You just have to survive, so you just walk away from other people struggling, and it's just an unacceptable thing for now, you know? You just can't share your money. Money is a very, like, kind of selfish thing. It's an individual thing. Everyone has their point system going, and you really can't share it. You can only just earn it in a way. But the system also doesn't fucking work to provide jobs, actually. So that fucking sucks too. But as long as enough people are enslaved, happily enslaved, and understand why they do what they do, there's welfare that can save a few people. And yeah, in the end of the day, it's like, we have war, we have invasion of these other countries, but we're all in this together, right? As long as we survive all these nasty things, even Trump's reign of power, because that's a fucking problem. Epstein Island literally has people called survivors. It's fucking nasty like that, bro. And looking at them straight into their TikTok faces, I mean, like, yeah, surviving is the blessing that we all get right now. Every day is a blessing. Every day is better and better, seemingly, right? It constantly promises you better and better results just because you survived. Better outcomes into the future. Especially if you're building something, like, people still have free time in the end of the day. That's a badass thing. So this opens up a whole new can of worms of, like, what are the influencers? What are the politicians? What's going on in the world? It gains new interpretations because all you had to do is live another day. Like me. You will be fine. Next thing you know it, you can build a community of people who are simply survivors. You know? Everyone should know that. If you're a survivor of something, you can build a community. So I'm a card game survivor. No, I'm a survivor of many things. But mostly I'm a survivor of just, like, I exist on social media. I'm a social media hater survivor. Right? Even that is a respectable thing. Obviously, if you became a hater, I don't think you survived. I think you became something that you shouldn't become, right? Already, quite a big portion of you is shut down. Why are you a hater? Why are you so reckless? A hater is a person who's often wrong because of their fucking inability to slow down. to not rage as hard as they are raging, to not be as offended so fast for such little things, basically, right? Because if you're just gonna get in trouble. Haters really hope that the world revolves around them and they can just destroy whatever the fuck they don't like. But unfortunately, that's not how it works, right? Now you're not becoming a survivor, you're becoming an attacker, right? You're becoming the thing that people don't want to deal with in this world, the scum of the earth. If you're an anti-survivor, and that's really awful. There's reasons why we have these like zombie apocalypse fantasies, because it's kind of ongoing. All right, it's just different flavors of zombie apocalypse every single time. Every single time there's a different flavor of ice cream, boys. Ice cream, you scream, boys. And now we have literal ice. We have literal ice survivor situation going on. No, I did not become a lefty. I'm just surprised that Trump is this big of a fucking moron and rich people have taken over, basically. Rich people with a lot of survival points, they're fucking around. They're destroying other people's lives now. If they don't care anymore. Again, money is not the end of all the cool things that life has to offer. No, you can generate that inside of yourself, right? First and foremost. You can be a good person, right? Because you have to stop yourself as best as you can from becoming the attacker. You have to spend a lot of money. If you're being attacked, well, you have to spend money to survive better, to fortify yourself. If you feel like you want to become an attacker and this is boring, you potentially have to spend more and more money to alleviate boredom or something. If you're on the other side of, freedom. You have too much freedom. And you have not enough enemies to fight against, to think about. And not enough goals, basically. Because if you have a lot of money, like I have a goal still to, like, become rich. I still have that goal. It's still a very nice thing, right? Rich means I'm beyond that point where I have to struggle physically, right? I have to physically struggle to survive, which can be exhausting. Like, you want to get to the other side anyways. You want to be rich for a certain part of your life, right? You want to be rich and protected and cared for, right? It's a good deal. You don't want to always be stuck in just rough survival mode. It's definitely not helpful. But to people who are struggling to become rich, I mean, they still have to just appreciate where they are in life, that their life is fair, and that, again, every single day you survive, you did it. That's a big achievement. Every day, that's a big achievement. Because, like, your body, your mind constantly throws you all over the place. Yes, self-improvement is, like, really important, but we're talking about healing, right? And the most healing thing is to tell that you are achieving something every single day. Even if you're not doing anything, you're still achieving something, right? Because I have to say, yes, you might be afraid. The world might actually be scary, and I don't know if my advice applies to you. I don't know how bad certain survival situations are. I can't actually just pretend that everything I say for self-improvement, it has to be applied. No, like, if your survival situation is really rough, then surviving that day is good enough. No force for you to understand anything. Just live that day, bro. Just enjoy it as best as you can. If it involves watching my videos and talking to me, I mean, I'm always ready to celebrate your survival. They, the enemies, drive me and you crazy. That's their thing. You know, no one's stopping them. There's no laws. Again, the system does not stop the fucking idiots from doing bad things. You cannot complain to anyone. No one's going to come to your aid unless it's really bad, right? But the aiders, people who are trying to help, they're also trying to survive. They're also humans trying to survive. Same as you. So don't toss them around like trash. You know? Don't expect them to help you just because you're white. In a way, like, it is what it is in the end of the day, right? Just because my neighbors are noisy and, like, I've seen many complaints like that. I guess I got noisy neighbors recently. I didn't know what that was until I got them. And it's absolutely disgusting, obviously. It's, like, totally unacceptable in a normal circumstance, in normal society. That's insane. Back in the day, back when communism was a thing, you just move out. It's not that hard. You move out, you sell your fucking shit. You work your way through it. You get a little bit more busy. There's no computers, there's no internet. You just go to work. That's your entertainment system, basically. Right? There's no way to fuck up your life. There's not a lot of freedom. See, that's what happened. Like, internet opened up doors for a lot of freedom, and a lot of people just telling you that you can do whatever you want because they wanted freedom to be successful. But, you know, it's not always the prettiest thing. I guess in Jules' case, freedom was people wanted to hate, you know? Just like they want to hate right now. We went full cycle almost. It's a little weird. We went like full YouTube cycle, maybe. YouTube is about to evolve into something else. So we went full YouTube cycle to where, like, we're hating little children into we hate everyone. Except select few humans, which I hope will also be sent into the pool of hatred. We can hate everyone, as long as we hate everyone. But if you selectively hate, that's the most hateful nonsense. That's the most hateful, but the least productive thing you can possibly do. If you want to hate, you have to hate every single thing properly, using principles. I know how it's done. It's not complicated. All right? I've done it many times. And I am always disappointed seeing humanity fucking trying to hate me. A poor guy. You know? Well, what do you get from that? You get fucking nothing. You're just the most not productive thing I've ever seen. That I became a survivor of. My friend, every single time I talk to my friend, he reminds me of, like, why would you make videos like that? Why would you invoke so many haters to attack you, basically? Like, how is that? How are you capable of doing that? That sort of vibe he's throwing at me, and I'm like, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine for me. I survived it. I keep surviving it, and now I switched my entire strategy on YouTube to just ban people. Instead of collecting subscribers, I'll collect people who got banned. It's a lot easier for me now. A lot of YouTubers are getting subscribers, millions of subscribers. I'm just banning people. That's easier for me. No one else on YouTube does that. I've never heard of that shit before. Okay? Where, like, I genuinely have to ban people. And I will not collect as many subscribers as I can collect bans. It is a still collection of subscribers. There's still a number that you collect. And for me, it's a lot better number because it's a sign, it's an evidence that I survived something that I really fucking don't like. And I did not get compensated for it. For every hater, I did not get a subscriber. It's not a 50-50 ratio. These people are insane. And there's so many of them going insane, going crazy. Just because you have freedom doesn't mean you should stop surviving. Right? That's just that one thing you should not stop doing. Freedom should not turn you into an attacker. You should not be attacking other people. That's it. That's the end fucking bottom line. That's that one fucking principle. No harm principle. Literally every single grown-ass man says, don't harm others. That's the first and the only rule. The only nature rule given to you. Every single smart-ass, grown-ass man says that. You can't ignore that shit. I'll give you different levels of, like, haters. Different level of attackers that I had to encounter, basically, right? We generally have freedom for a very long time now to do a lot of naughty things, I would say. All right, so levels of haters. The first level is rejection. All right, the most easiest thing to encounter, and if you encounter it just enough times, you realize it is not worth chasing. Because chasing would involve you actually betting on it, right? You have to start betting. You start gambling with other people of like, if I give $5 to them, they will act nicer to me. So maybe I should do that, right? You do the gamble. If you want to walk past rejection, you have to actually pay for it. And I don't recommend. You know, these are fucking attackers. People who reject you, they already attacked you, okay? And unless they did it in a direct way, then there is no reason to try to approach them. Just accept the rejection and move on. This way you'd level up immediately. Immediately you're a better person after you accept rejection. That's what celebrities do. They accept rejection. They're not going to talk to you. You rejected them. You rejected every single celebrity. That's why they're famous. Because they got rejected by so many people. Because they're different. You know? They're kind of the clowns of the group. But yeah, they got rejected. And now they're better than you. Accept rejection. You'll become better than the rest of the humans. Don't become normal. Don't become like everyone else. Don't accept yourself inside a group of people where you don't belong. And that's it. You enter your own community wherever you actually belong when you start accepting rejection. Because rejection means that you're not good enough in a way. And if it's offensive to you, you may never be good enough. They rejected you and they will never get a chance to see you ever again. If you truly accept it, if you truly understand where it's coming from, right? If it's so offensive, like, well, I'm never going to have this attribute that you're expecting of me, right? Maybe women expect $1 million and you will never have that attribute for a very, very long time. And you just got to accept it. Like, you can't just chase $1 million just because someone rejected you for it. That would be insane. You can easily become insane when you don't accept rejection, when you're trying to please someone. There's this thing called people pleasing. And it's definitely bad. But when you accept rejection, you evolve immediately. You enter a whole new grounds. You just have to let go of stupid ideas. But see, it's very difficult to let go of stupid ideas because you have to do it all by yourself. No one's going to force you to do it anymore. You have freedom. So accepting rejection sounds just still very difficult for a lot of people who are very stiff on their on attempting to, like, I'm your father, I'm your brother. You know, attempting to create these relationships. I have invested so much money into you. how dare you, reject me? Like trying to shame other people for giving you rejections. I mean, it's not gonna work. But you can still fight for it really badly. Fight day and night until they just give up. It's like, okay, I can't reject you anymore. You win. You don't win much. I'm still a shitty human being rejecting you this whole time. I'm trying to tell you I reject you because I'm a shitty human being, but okay. Okay, dude. You got it. You got me, bro. With my hands up. I don't know what we're gonna be doing, but you got me. Okay, this is not a good look, bro. This is not a good look. In fact, I crave to place the couples, the people who came together very early, and look at that. I've heard so many stories when I go to like a shitty school, basically, of like, oh, she got pregnant as well. Like all these fucking shitty guys, shitty women hanging around. They hook up, they have children very early in their life, and it's because they couldn't fucking reject each other. They fought for it so hard to have the shittiest fucking relationship. But rejection doesn't stop at relationships. It's relationships that kind of liberate your mindset so you don't chase girls anymore. You accept rejection, like girls who reject you, generally, that's it, game over. Okay. No big deal. It absolutely goes much deeper than that. You get rejected, like if you have to pay rent, that's rejection. They don't want you to live. These are the attackers. The landlords are the attackers. People who don't give you free food and free place to stay, they're rejecting you. Now, if you truly want to grasp onto something and it's a part of your identity, maybe it's worth taking the L, right? It's still a calculation to be made, but most of the time, you accept rejection, you don't pay rent, you become homeless if you have to, whatever the fuck you have to do, live in your car, whatever you have to do, you will figure it out. You'll figure it out, but you have to accept the rejection. That's the more tougher rejection to accept. There's levels of acceptance that you can make, right? It can mean downgrading your life, but at the same time, just save up money and try something different. Try accepting rejection. So you're rejected from jobs and on and on. Just find it, whatever it is. But I have to move on to the next level of haters. And again, these levels change you as a human being when you master those levels. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm being rejected from my home quite a lot. And I sometimes don't look at it that way, but it's such a common sign. I mean, at this point, I'm still hanging on because like I appreciate the setup. I have a pretty good setup. So at some point, rejection stops working when it's like really fucking weird style of rejection. Maybe it's still acceptable. This one is like requiring like some fucking top tier calculations if I want to actually make a good decision. Also, like there's the fucking Windows 11 rejection. Not everyone gets to pass into Windows 11. And it's like, well, you have to accept it and just go to Linux. I would still maybe recommend Linux, but you have to start from scratch. You have to start from zero, and you have to buy a new PC for that shit. Or just completely start from scratch and just completely kill Windows, basically, on your PC. If you dual boot Linux, it's not gonna work. You have to dedicate yourself. You have to jump in, unfortunately. Either you're gonna raw dog it and just kill your PC, or and whatever happens, or you slowly adopt a new PC with Linux installed in it. There's no other way, guys. I explained it very well. in a dedicated episode for it right there. All right. And my friend understood it very well. He had the same problems. So it's all clear, guys. But yeah, in general, you learn to accept rejection. What a wonderful skill. Yeah. And we found countless examples of where this can be applied. I have no idea how many more there are. But let's move on to the next level. The shamers, baby. The shamers. Here comes another very interesting interaction with idiots. All right? This is where we get closer to haters as well. But haters are like, they're levels of haters. So there's some people that will simply reject you, not going to watch your videos. That's very simple to actually manifest. And it's one of the most common thing, right? Like people just going to reject topics where I'm just talking, right? There's nothing being sold, but even they're even rejecting high teal now somehow. Maybe it's not high quality. Maybe it's like they're seeing like a gameplay style kind of like length. Basically, they're not interested anymore. Everyone has taken a bite at hightail, and it flopped. My video flopped. So whatever the fuck happens, this is like the most common thing in YouTube as well. On social media, you will basically experience the same shit because it's a social place, right? You'll experience the same things. And if they hit you hard enough with insights, you will level up as well. It's a very safe way to level up your personality. Just use social media. It's another recommendation just to take this path. It's the fucking juiciest path ever, right? You are present. You are available for anyone ever. Anyone can talk to you at any moment. Just be open. And all of a sudden, that's it. You did your job. You did your social media job, right? You expressed your passions. You tried to showcase some of your talents. You just give people the best version of you that exists and surviving right now. And there's definitely nothing shameful about that. No, you shouldn't delete your videos. You shouldn't even double question what you should do with your videos. How should you interact with other people? There's no question about it. You do whatever you want. It's freedom. It's very difficult to shame when it's freedom. You know? This one is very difficult. Rejection is very easy when it's freedom. But shaming is very difficult under freedom. And people who still try to do it, I mean, they're sort of asking for trouble, but you should not hurt them too much, okay? Don't hurt them too much. They know not to do it as well. Because again, shaming other people is quite a scary act. It sometimes involves gaslighting when you're not being honest with yourself. You know, when the gaslighter is trying to shame you, I mean, there's nothing left in there. And that's what happened. Basically, my classmates sort of like put me in a shameful position, but like a lot of them just rejected me, and I'm like, okay, so I kind of shamed them. I shamed them, basically. And they couldn't do the same thing to me. It just kind of fucking fled the scene, accepted the shame. I mean, you can't reject shame, because if you reject it, you're taking actions to run away from something that is real. You're giving shame, basically. By rejecting shame, by rejecting where the shame come from, which is like me, right? I'm the source of shame. By you running away, you're accepting the fact that shame exists. that there's something shameful, very likely about you, right? Yes, maybe I do some shameful things, sure, but if I don't know anything about it, you didn't take the opportunity to shame me. So it's all this like very fucking tactical game going on, right? It's very difficult to even. It's like a chess matchup. Like you have to know all the openings basically to comprehend what's going on. All the basic tactics. You have to know all the rules of shame. One of the most common tactics is when you grow up, your dad comes to talk to you about having children. And it's like, or just wants to try and kick you out of the home. That's rejection. But having children is a different conversation, isn't it? It's like, well, you should find a person to have children with, you know. It's not really rejection, but it's a little bit of rejection. It tries to speed you up, try to encourage you to take action, basically. But generally speaking, that is shame. It's like no one needs children, dude. It's not good for your survival. Children are not good. Why would I chase that? Why would you try to shame that? Because you're stupid. Stupid people do the rejection. Stupid people do the shaming. If you take the shame, then they transfer some of that stupidity to you, right? If you feel shame for not having children, I'm sorry, dude. But in order to not feel shame, you have to immediately retaliate. You have to, or at least push them away. Not rejection style, but like, let's not talk about it, right? Just stop this bullshit, right? You can label certain topics as bullshit, and they cannot shame you from that direction, basically. They know they're not going to get you, basically. When you say, like, I don't give a fuck about that topic in particular, I think that's bullshit. And if something is bullshit, you cannot be shamed when something is bullshit. It's like, oh, but you don't know how to drive a fucking elephant. It's a what? It's bullshit. No one drives elephants. No one needs to ride elephants. What are you talking about? That's what matters. You can push it to bullshit. You can push a lot of shame into nonsense land where whatever the fuck they're asking or expecting of you makes no sense. I guess the next level of haters is nuisance. All right, nuisance. Now they're just a bunch of annoying pricks, basically. The bullies at school. They're not there to reject you. They're not there to shame you. They're actually a nuisance and increasingly more dangerous. Shame makes you question whether you should be doing the thing that you're doing, or is there something like very important that you have to do. I had to live through the most shameful part, which is being stinky in workplace. Oh boy, that's the worst thing ever. And everyone jumps on it, and it's like, don't be so hasty. That's a very tricky subject. Very delicate subject, but people have freedom, and the moment you offend them, they become shamers. And it's so easy to just split them apart into a person who is capable of withstanding this and who turns into a fucking full-on demon. In fact, she didn't like it so much that she turned into a fucking nuisance, trying to get me in trouble, trying to cause drama, basically, raising her voice, basically, in the middle of work. And it's like, damn, this is insane. This is a whole next level. Beyond shame. We definitely discovered something new with this, like, stinkiness. Because everyone you can understand shame of, like, yeah, you stink, there's something wrong with you, basically, You're not taking care of yourself or your clothing. Taking care of clothing is the most difficult fucking hygiene thing, because it's not about you anymore. It's not about scrubbing some fucking shit off your body. It's, you literally have to go through an entire process of how you take care of clothing, and it doesn't feel natural because, you know, that's what clothes are. There is instructions of how to actually take care of clothing, and you have to find the right way. It's a fucking maze if no one explains you exactly how to do it. And even then, I get sort of backed into a corner, because if I want to dry my clothes, where the fuck do I do it? I cannot do it indoors, and I can barely do it outdoors because someone can just steal the fucking clothes. That sounded pretty scary when it was, you know, said out loud. Fuck, even I did it one time. I stole panties. But I have an excuse. I was literally bleeding. Literally bleeding. So I needed clothes. It was an emergency to wrap my hand around, because I went into a fight against my mom. Like, nuisance after nuisance, my friends. You knew by looking into my life that it wasn't just rejection and shame playing a role. It was next level. Beyond that. You know, you can call me shameful for going into orphanage, basically, for living in the orphanage. You can call that shameful because normal people don't do that. Normal people have parents, and it's like, yeah, you're born kind of in shame. I can understand that. Right? You're already born a higher difficulty. But nuisance. For nuisance to happen, I literally have to go from orphanage to go back home. And all of a sudden, there's this big fight brewing, basically, of like, I don't know where your keys are. And I know she knows where the keys are. But she's not giving them to me. She's not finding them. She's not searching for them. She's pretending that I have them. Like, all this fucking fighting happening. It's insane. With my mom. Like, my mom was a fucking fighter against me. Holy shit. It was devastating. Because she did all kinds of fucking stupid shit, man. She was mentally ill for so long until somehow, magically, she was defeated. Somehow, she finally felt that she couldn't fucking fight me anymore, and finally was defeated. But my mom did so much damage to me. It's unbelievable. You know, you're born with a demon attached to you. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. And I'm born with a demon attached to me because I'm trying to survive. Right? There's no survival resources, so I always go back to the only place that fucking works. And I finally tamed the demon. Exorcised the demon out of my mom. Nuisance was defeated. Right? While everyone else also act kind of demonic, basically. Smelling the stinkiness out of me. Almost like a coincidence. How did they do that? How do they have these superpowers? You know, these assholes. Because it doesn't take just to smell it. Because maybe I can't smell it. You know, I can live with myself. That's the problem with this smelliness. Like, you can shame it. But the moment you start creating nuisance is the moment things get out of hand immediately. You can shame people for being stinky. You can shame people for a lot of things. You can reject people for billions of things. All right? But when you're creating a nuisance, you have to have a much greater level of reasoning of why you're doing this. And my mom's reasoning is just, she's fucking mentally ill. She's an insane person. Holy shit, man. So it goes way beyond just my dad being a bum, basically, and finding his fortune outside of his home country, right? And just smoking, drinking, being a fucking bum, basically. It's a terrible human being. I would say now he's more mentally ill than my mom, in a way. He's more disconnected, more fucking torn into pieces, while I fixed my mom. At least to the extent that I could, but, you know, she's still showing, like, signs of nonsense. Nuisance always just comes out. Like, she's always being unreasonable. Despite us relying on each other, right? Now, it is complicated. Why would I keep my mom at such a high standard? It's like, I need a support system, right? If there's a replacement for my mom, that's another way to fix my situation. I don't really have to care about her, right? But there's something going on. Like, you start relying on something because it's a very beneficial relationship. It's kind of like manufactured by the government as well, supported by the government of like, yes, this person is capable, and why not, right? Capable of soaking in a bunch of money into the bank account. That's what I'm doing now. That's my job, just soaking in money for free. For fucking nothing. Alright? If universal basic income exists, I already had it for 5 years. So, I don't know, man. I don't know what you guys talking about. I already had it. Basically, literally, government steps in and is the actual support system. I can't say that my mom has a support system all coming from the inside. It's coming from the government. The government gives me and my mom survival points, and whoever is taking care of us, basically, because we buy services, we use those survival points. Like, an insane person is not going to survive with fucking thousands upon thousands of monies, right? They will still get in trouble. They will get into the hospital, and they will never be released from there, you know, essentially, right? They're just being tossed around in the end of the day. Regardless how much money they have, it no longer matters. Because when you're insane, everything is expensive. That's another aspect that my mom was into, right? She was spending money left and right. She couldn't fucking figure out how to do it properly. And I fucking saved her from that too. It's like, what the fuck, right? I saved her support system, not her per se. It's I saved her support system because that's the one that matters. I stabilized it, right? And I was able to take some of it into an advantage. I fixed nuisance, all right? So I avoided shame, but now you have to take action. You have to fix nuisance in life. And all of a sudden, a support system that was barely supporting one human being can now support 2 human beings just fine. Because you're smart, you know how to fucking fix it. Yeah, some fucking idiot comes to my Discord and tries to shame me for being jobless, and it is shameful. Okay. I will never forget that. That's shameful. I'll accept that shame, even though, you know, I know nothing about that guy. You have to be reasonable. When someone's trying to shame you, you have to now stand your ground and see what the other person is like. You now have to exist in social media. You have to have presence. You can't just be a fucking nobody, basically, right? Tell me about yourself, right? Calm down, first of all. Because if a shamer is trying to shame you in a shameful way, if they're doing some stupid shit, if they're trying to push agenda, all of a sudden, whatever the fuck they're pushing can't reach you anymore because they're doing shameful thing first, right in front of your eyes. They cannot be civilized, for that matter. So it's a chess game. It's a very fucking tricky situation with nuisance. It's next level. You have to take action. You have to actually fix things. You have to go out there and fix the nuisance that is happening, basically. And you'll take a lot of benefits if you are fixing things that actually matter. Even the Windows 11 drama could be a nuisance if you want to save people from whatever the fuck is going on, if you want to educate them, if you're connected to them, and you care about them. It's nuisance. Because now you have to take action and you have to help other people too. Not just fix your own shit. Not just take your own direction personally. Right? It's shameful to make mistakes. What is the final level? Is there a final level beyond that? Because again, every single step of the way, it made me a much better, stronger person. A whole different level. On YouTube, nuisance is the fact that nothing is balanced. You get absolutely nothing that you would like to get. Sometimes you get a little bit of dog food, and it keeps you alive on YouTube, like in terms of sanity, right? You get dog food, and honestly, it's fine. There's also 360 people who decided that, yes, my content is legit. They found it important. Congratulations. I'm just as proud as to have a fucking big number as you should be proud of being subscribed to me. You know, why not? There is level 4, because I'm level 4, my friends, and should eventually go beyond that. There is the darkness level. The darkness haters. People who feed the darkness is basically a blob of all the bad things happening to you because it's lingering. It's the lingering darkness effect. To attempt to explain this to you, it's not that very difficult. It's like you're left alone. Loneliness is good for survival, but everyone left you alone in the end of the day. You don't have actual resources to climb back into the light, you know, into society. Now you feel the real rejection, the accumulated effect of all rejection, of all the disgusting, hateful behavior, all this accumulated into, you know, leaving you in the darkness. This is where nuisance, where like shitty neighbors turn also into a blob of just nasty behavior, where they don't have to try and start fixing themselves, even though they're part of the fucking group of nasty people. Where now even police has to get involved, and quite often, and quite for a good reason. Where I have to start banning people. I have not started banning people for a long time until, you know, the darkness is overwhelming. You can literally conjure up these motherfucking haters. The formula is right there, you know? The formula is obvious. This is why I started head shopping, because I know the formula. I know exactly how to lure out the fucking idiots so I can treat them like idiots. That's where everything flips, where nothing good exists. The only thing you can do is just kind of manifest that yourself. Build all the good things yourself. Nothing actually even works, for fuck's sake. It's quite madness to like try different things and nothing seems to work. But when you do it, it works. It's the best thing because that's what you wanted. You were able to make it work. But it's hard work. You have to sacrifice yourself to make something work, but you can do it. Why can anyone else do it? And even worse, why does anyone else care that you can do it, that you can make things work? Now, people did manage to care just enough to convince me, I guess, that they are there. They're waiting for working products, I guess. Technically not understanding how long it takes to, like, develop games or whatever. So that's my thing. But yeah, I have to manifest light in the darkness. I have to bring the Matrix into life. And people who don't understand, and in many different ways, there's the variety of misunderstanding. Now they're working together as the source of darkness that I have to fight against. I am literally versus the world. Me versus the world. Darkness means you start with zero. You still have nothing. Not a friend to rely on, nothing to build upon, no snowball effect that will ever happen in your life from darkness. All right, Mr. Beast is lucky. He was able to snowball his influence basically into something. Anyone can do that technically. It's not a big deal. Being relentless and wanting to win the competition on YouTube, sure. Why not? But bro just took the cake that PewDiePie was eating. You know, it's still not a big deal. But Mr. Beast is not a survivor of darkness like I am. And technically, the story of darkness has just begun, because my battle has just begun. I have all the weapons now, 100% approved and functioning. All I'm gonna do is start fighting back. You know, the first step of a fight is preparation. And when you're at 50%, you basically know you will be fighting darkness. Half of your body is already preparing basically for the showdown. But it's getting closer and closer to an actual battle. Versus people who don't understand, who don't fucking give a fuck this whole time, could have turned around and done something about it, invested, right, their interest, whatever it takes. But nope. They kept missing their shots, even though I gave them chances, right? People who's supposed to give me something hopeful, they just leave me in darkness, asking to be defeated. Like, they don't understand what the stakes are. You know, they just don't get it. Like, now we're talking about company level stakes. Company level stakes. I will obliterate, rip off like gaming companies, shred them into pieces, because they don't understand what is at stake. I will destroy certain influencers. Like, there's a lot of fucking shit, bad shit that's gonna happen. And there's more levels of haters, by the way. They're still capable of putting gun to my face and all kinds of nonsense, right? You can still level up the insanity. Life allows you to keep traumatizing me, right? And that's that. You survived another day. If it comes with trauma, if it comes with haters, it's fuel for self-improvement. And again, from the looks of it, it seems very natural. It seems very like self-intuitive in a way. Anyone can pick up this trauma just by living life the way they're supposed to live. Or sometimes, if you are completely unhinged from all the trouble, you can pick up trouble through association, through dealing with someone else's parents, someone else's troubles, you know, trying to help. You enter the world of chaos through association, and that, you know, is still available for people. So consider that. If you're having an easy time you can help someone else with their haters. And that's a big deal. It is quite something to be left in darkness with someone else. Like, there's two of you and you're still in complete darkness. That's some weird shit. But it's better than nothing. And it's actually more revealing of the way the world doesn't work. In the end of the day, don't give the world too much credit. The system is completely broken, completely destroyed. Capitalism works on rubble. There's a reason why that's the currency of Russia. That's how capitalism works. It works when nothing else works. When you need the simplest system to start taking place. And it's just a number system, number on your forehead type of system that everyone adopted very quickly, but they're fools. Because this is the most basic shit you can possibly adopt. You can't go very far with it, where you just treat people based on their fucking number, basically. I mean, I'm sorry, dude. I don't have a job. You don't know what number I have, because you don't know what income I have. The number comes from income, not from just having things. You're not born with it. You have a certain amount of skills that you can turn, well, rubble into gold or whatever. Rubble into valuables. So, turn trash into into money. That's what skills are for. You can only, even in capitalism, you can only judge people based on their income, not their current stash. Unless they are retired somehow. But then why would you judge an old person? Excuse me? And then again, you can only judge them based on your own capacity to be the same, to try and keep up, right? Because you're going to be judged back as well. If you earning $5,000 a year or $10,000 a year, you cannot judge a person who's not earning enough money even though they're earning $50,000, right? You can't judge them because they earn more than you. Everyone's equal on this fucking battlefield. In fact, feminism shoved equality by force into capitalism. Now everyone is equal, unfortunately, no matter how you look at it. Women get just enough opportunities to try and achieve equality for the sake of comparison and judgment to properly take place. So yeah, I've educated you about like some crazy fundamentals. Thank you guys for watching. My life gets revealed one more time, yet again. So that's cool. I can keep learning things and healing based on the insights. Goodbye. Don't leave me in darkness, no!